Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Gideon.
Morning, Joyce, and good morning to all our friends who look at it. Yeah.
Yes. So now we are live in our Facebook. So today we were going to directly talk about the book Dare to Lead by Dr. Brene Brown. So this is a great book to tell you, and I want to tell you why we choose this book. Is because right now this is a time that we need more leaders to show up. So, now having the COVID pandemic has been a really challenging for every one of us. So right now we need more leaders to show up to really step up to be the leaders. So this is the book talking about Dare to Lead, Brave Work, Tough Conversation, and Whole Hearts. So this is definitely a great book to start off. And Dr. Brene Brown, she spent the past 2 decades studying about courage, vulnerability, shame, and also empathy. So this is later, I believe that Gideon will also mention about she has the most viewed top 5 views of the TED Talks, more than 35 million views in the world. So this is definitely you want to go later. I will show you the where you can go to search her video out. But one question is about this: how do you cultivate braver and more daring leaders? And how do you embed the value of courage in your culture? This is the question answered by Dr. Brene Brown in her book. Definitely, we want to drill down more into this book today. So, Gideon, pass to you.
Yeah, how I know Dr. Brene Brown is through Tech Talk. I watched one of her most viewed Tech Talk currently in the world. That Tech Talk is talking about vulnerabilities, and I was struck. I was shocked at that time because for all my knowing, leaders are supposed to be, I know everything.
Huh.
Everything is under my control. There is no weakness. I should not show any feeling. That is maybe my stereotype thinking of what a leader should be. And this tech talk totally changed my idea about how a leader should be. So that's how I know Dr. Brainy, and it leads to other
Oh,
to reading her books. So I think her first few books are The Gift of Imperfections. I
yes.
give to someone, and Daring Greatly. I have this book, Daring Greatly,
Wow.
2012, and Rising Strong in 2015, and 2017. She wrote the Braving the Wilderness and Dare
To
to Live.
cultivate
Yeah,
that.
that really I give to someone. You know why I give so many books to people? Because I find that if I can change people's life by giving a book, even though they don't return me, it's good. It's better than I can buy it back at any time. So
You give 4 books to me,
yes.
so I can at least you can. I will return you. All right.
So let's go to the contents. If you
Okay. I'm going to share with you about one very important key that Dr. Brady write in this book. It's about courage. Courage. So the definition of courage is to show up when you can't predict or control the outcome. So it's very important to this word is to show up ourselves. Even there is, unpredictable things, we cannot control the outcome, but we show up. So there's one sentence from this book, and let me read for you. I love to read from books, right? I quote from the book. Courage is contagious. To skill daring leadership and build courage in teams and organizations, we have to cultivate a culture in which brave work, tough conversations, and whole hearts are the expectation, and armor is not necessary or rewarded. So great. Quote from the book. Okay. To Dr. Brene Brown, courage is contagious. I'm not sure whether do you experience before, courage is contagious. You know that when you actually want to show up, you will inspire other people to step up as well. People will show up as well. One of the very important in this book telling us, because today we are telling the content from the book. That's what I always quote from the book. So daring leadership is ultimately about serving other people. You're serving other people, not about ourselves. I give you an example. I believe that starting from month of March, right? The month of March, my country was struck with COVID very seriously. And every one of my family members never experienced this before. We never experienced the lockdown, and we never experienced that we cannot go out to work, and every one of us have to stay at home, and only one people are allowed to go out to buy the necessary things. And I tell you, they are freaked out. They are just so scared. They're worried because they don't know what they can do, and they don't know what is what and what will happen next. So as a leader in my family, what I can do is to show up as a leader that stay calm and stay centered. Because if I, as a leader at my home, I also scared, I also tell them that I'm so scared, I'm so fear, I'm out of control, then they will even more scared than me. So that's the reason why I really want you to know about this. Yes, you can show up and your courage is contagious. When you show up as someone more centered, more calm, your family members, your community, or at work, they will be more calm and stay centered as well. So that's why I really encourage you to do this, right? Step up yourself, show up with an open heart and mind that you can serve in the work and your family. Yeah, that's what I want to share with you about courage. Okay, then
Yeah,
I think you didn't have something.
yeah. I want to talk about vulnerability. I mean, some of you may thinking, what is vulnerability? The definition actually of a vulnerability, according to the book, is the emotion that we experience during the time of uncertainty,
Mhm.
risk, and emotion exposure.
Wow.
So example, when you're having a tough conversation in work or in family, when you ask for feedback, when you are giving feedback, whether you want it or not, when you want to try pregnancy after miscarriage, when you want to fire someone, when you are forced to fire someone at work, this
Mhm.
is where you will expose to these vulnerabilities. So tie back to what Joyce has mentioned about courage. Courage, you cannot be courage without being vulnerable. So
Yes.
courage and vulnerabilities, they go together. Whenever you choose courage, you also choose vulnerabilities because that's precisely what courage is about. You acting in spite of fear, uncertainty, and potential danger. Okay, so why I'm saying why this book struck me so much. This is vulnerabilities, and one of the things that if you want to practice this vulnerability, one of the things is you have to able to receive feedback. So there are some tips that in this book to teach you to self-talk yourself. I mean, talking to yourself when you receive feedbacks. So you can talk to yourself like, I'm brave enough to listen.
Mm.
There's something valuable there. Takes what worked for you. You can leave the rest, at the side first. This is the path to mastery. So this is some of the talking that I find it quite useful. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And yeah, yes,
yeah.
just
Um, that's why to show our vulnerability to others is not showing our weakness. It's just to be ourselves, you know, just be
yeah.
ourselves. That's if you don't know something, you can ask. You can ask for help. If you made a mistake, that you can admit that you made a mistake.
Yes.
That's why dare to lead is something that you are leading people, not armor yourself up and saying that everything I know, I'm the know-it-all people, you know? Yeah, let's continue for the next.
Yeah, the next point I want to make is connections. So further from courage, you must have connections with whoever you are connected with. So if you are a leader, which is
Yeah,
this book is all about, you must care for the people and connected to the people that you lead. So the idea of all command and conquer type of leadership, where I don't have to like you, you don't have to like me. I don't have anything to do with you. I just need to lead you and to be fair. That's it. That's all bullshit in this book. Talking about this in this book. So you need to connect heart to heart, human to human as a leader.
yeah,
So you must invest sometimes attending to the people that you lead about their fears, their feelings, or
true.
else you will have problem after that. Like people will ask you for, you'll see different kind of behavior after that. So one of the things I like about this book about is how to build trust. When you build connection, one of the very important thing is how to build trust, and it comes down to this word, braving, BRAVING. So braving stand for boundaries. So the B stand for boundaries. You must know what can be taught, what cannot be taught. You must have certain rules, so that when you connect with people, you know what is your limits, what is your baseline. The second is R, reliabilities. So talk your talk, walk your talk. If you say you want to do something, just you must make sure that you do it. So don't over promise if you can't do it. The second is A, accountabilities. So
Mm,
if you make something wrong, admit your mistakes, even though you are a leader, and you take responsible of the thing that you are giving to your people, or you're taking yourself. So this is accountabilities. And the V stand for vow. Vow is like, the vow that you are in. So vow is like, what is confidential, what can be shared, what cannot be shared. You must understand this, what kind of information details that you can give or cannot give out. So this is vow. And I stand for integrity. Of course, you do everything, you must have integrities. You have my moral support. um, N stand for non-judgment. So when you're dealing with people, don't rush to conclusion. Don't judge. And G stand for generosity. So always leave some space when you let people give feedbacks. So this is braving, BRAVING. Yeah.
short form with a very clear explanation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and one of the word I like so much is about when you connect with people, clear is kind, unclear is unkind.
Yes.
So it's kind to be clear, it's unkind to be unclear.
Mm,
So why, example, if you give half truth or you give bullshit to make people feel or yourself feel better, this is unkind.
yes.
Example, when you don't tell people your clear expectations because it feels so hard, so difficult to tell people, but you still hold the people accountable, after that
Mm,
is very unkind.
yeah.
So you better be kind, be clear, and this is kind to your people.
True. So true. I can connect it so well because a lot of people sometimes forgot about this. They give a very big instruction or
Um,
what, but they expect people to follow and to do it or what. The thing is, we have to be very clear in our communication.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the last thing about this connection is about shame.
Mm,
Um, I think it always come to people when you connect, you always feel that you are fear of shame. Um, I think the thing is because you compare so much, or
mm,
you spend so much checking other people's. So I just want to talk about how to resolve it. So how about resolve these shame things? So one of the things is you must clear with your value and strength. So if you know your value, let's say your value is family,
yeah.
then if you take time for your family or your family had emergency and you take over this over your work, you don't feel shame because you know your value is family. This is a top value that you have. And also about strength. If you know example, if I know my strength is not in presentations, like Joyce is very good in presentation, I don't have shame. I let Joyce do presentation. That doesn't mean that I will not try. I will try, but I don't have shame. I will still try because I know that my strength is doing research, doing see-through things. So I won't feel shame. So yeah, I just tell people, no, I just need to improve my presentation.
Sorry, there's one word I remember. Well, both of us are doing some preparation of the work.
Yeah.
We do write down a lot of key things that we learned from the book, somehow like a summary. I love this sentence that you wrote you added into my script. I don't know whether you still remember, you wrote down this. Having super clear values. Value will be your guiding force.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Thank you, Gideon. I love the sentence you write, it's like values will be your guiding force. Just like Gideon explained, whatever happened in your life, you choose your choice to go through, then the value is the one guides you. So do you have a clear value right now? It's very important. Yeah.
So Joyce, you want to continue with your empathy?
Yeah.
Talking about empathy.
The last point we want to share with you is about practice empathy. I know that we are over our time again, because we are so excited to share more information with you, because this round we did not do any summary PDF for you. So whether you want to listen, you will listen here, right here. Practice empathy that just now Gideon mentioned about. You want more connection with other people. You want to build the trust relationship with other people. Empathy is very, very important. Remember this. There is two different words, empathy and sympathy. That's two different words, all right? Empathy is the feeling with someone. Sympathy is feeling for someone. That is two different experience. When you are empathy with someone, it means even though you do not experience that people experience, you can have the same emotion, the same feeling with the person. All right. So that's why it's so important to practice the empathy. So when you want to practice empathy, there is definitely a few skills. According to Dr. Brene, she writes in this book, all right, the skill number one is to see the world as others see it, or perspective taking. All right, it's very important to see other people, put yourself in other people's shoes and listen and feel them. All right, as I always mention about this, you have to use your eyes, your ears, and your heart together with whole hearts. That's the reason why, as a leader, you must practice this. So there's a skill number two is about this, to be non-judgmental. I think just now, Gideon already share with you a little bit on this. To be non-judgmental. We judge in the areas that we are most susceptible to shame, and we judge people who are doing worse than we are in those areas. So sometimes, even me, myself, sometimes I fall into the trap of I have this perception on certain things, because this perception may be carried from me since I'm young, I'm small that time. So if I want to change, sometimes I need to intentionally alert myself. Yes, this is a judgment. So I must be listen properly, carefully, and feel other people first before I make the decision what to do. So that is very, very important. Skill number two. Skill number three, to understand other people's feeling. Skill number four, to communicate your understanding of the people's feelings. Skill number five is the last point, will be paying full attention. Paying on the full attention with the people, undivided attention, really listen to them. That's the part that you can have the connection. That's why, like just now Gideon mentioned to you, the connection and the empathy is actually linked. You can't have the connection with other people without the empathy heart. All right. So that's why I want to have this leave to you is empathy is the heart of the connection. This is not from me. It is actually from the book.
So
All
true.
right. Empathy is the heart of the connection. So last point is I want to tell you is we share with you about the courage. Definitely is a key main thing mentioned from the book Dare to Lead. Second is about vulnerability. So third is about connection and empathy. All right. And last I want to ask Gideon. Okay, what is the session from which part of the book that really impressed you the most? That you learned the most is the aha moment for you.
Yeah, there is actually I think one sentence inside the book which I think is so beautiful. So it's a quote from Joseph Campbell.
Mm,
So I will read it as
yeah,
what is talked by Joseph Campbell.
that's good.
So the cave that you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Own the fear, find the cave, and write a new endings for yourself, for the people you meant to serve and support. Choose courage over comfort. Choose whole hearts over armor. And choose the great adventures of being brave and afraid at exactly the same time. It's so beautiful written.
I love the sentence as well because sometimes we don't know what is inside the cave. It's so uncertain, so fear. And courage is the one that we can step up and we can continue. And definitely, courage is one of my values. In
Yeah.
case Gideon, you don't know, I need to tell you, courage is one of my big value. If I don't have courage, I don't think I will be here right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I will not do what I'm doing right now. So that's why it's so important. And if you want to follow and know more about Dr. Brene's work, please go to this place. I want to show you the slideshow. This is the website that you can go to search more about this book, daretolead.brenebrown.com. All right, go there and check it out. If you want to listen, all right, you can go to her podcast. It's called Unlocking Us, Brene Brown. All right, and because in this podcast, she has a lot of show talking about conversation that unlock the deeply human part of who we are so that we can live, love, parent, and lead with more courage and heart. So, and the last one is to share with you the more than 35 million views in TED Talks in the world, which is this, the power of vulnerability. This is the one I watched, I think, about 5 years ago when I first get to know about this video. It's such a very powerful video. I love it so much. Please go to watch it, know more about this, and definitely will be very helpful for you as a leader. Okay, that's all. That's all that we want to share today. Let's go back. Yes, that's all.
Yeah.
That
I hope
we
everyone learned a lot. Yeah.
so we're going to see you all next week at the same time, 11. And I think next week we're going to have some surprise for you too. I think
Okay.
surprise for me too.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.